Hello, hi. Hope you're doing well. We're going to get started in a minute. Okay, we'll go ahead and get started. Um, for those of you who I haven't met and who don't know me, my name is Namstasha Glazadik, and I am a meditation teacher and a wellness coach. And today we're going to be talking about daily habits for entrepreneurs. So, really specifically, daily wellness habits for entrepreneurs. So, maybe to give you a little bit more background about myself, I grew up as an international nomad. I was born in the UK. My parents were going to school, and then I've lived throughout the world in Ethiopia and Canada and the US. And really, as a child of immigrants, I was given three options for my career. It was either be an engineer, a lawyer, or a doctor, and I picked engineering. So I went to Cornell University and got my engineering degree there in biological engineering. And from there, I went on to live in San Francisco, and I did the corporate thing for about 10 years. And for the first couple of years, I really enjoyed it. But naturally, the stress of living in San Francisco, on top of just, the internal stresses that came with life and being an ambitious person, those all kind of compounded, and started to look for ways to manage my stress. And that's what really led me to yoga and meditation. And from there, I was able to really see a huge improvement in my mood, my health, my general well-being. And I really wanted to bring that to different communities and really share that knowledge with folks, because having a daily yoga practice and a meditation practice really improved my life significantly. So from there, I was so motivated and energized by meditation and yoga that I ended up getting certified to teach, and I have loved it ever since. So now I teach meditation to different corporate offices, and I also do wellness coaching, so I have some one-on-one clients that I work with as well. And overall, I really love it. And today, I really want to specifically talk to you as entrepreneurs and how you manage your day and what habits you can have in your daily life, especially now that we're going through this pandemic. So, as we all know, we're going through the pandemic specific to coronavirus. So, first set of questions that I'd really love to ask you guys is how is this affecting you? So we all know that as a globe, everyone is going through a lot of stress related to the pandemic. So perhaps you're going through a lot of stress in your life before the pandemic, but even now with the pandemic, the stress is compounded. So maybe you had some challenges with your business in the past. Well, now you have more. So it's really important to focus on that self-care and everything to help yourself. But before we go into what you can do, I think it's really good to pause and have everyone just examine in their own lives how this pandemic is affecting you and your business. There's a lot of uncertainty that comes with this, so starting to ask yourself, how am I dealing with this uncertainty? How is that affecting my ability to produce? As an entrepreneur, there's so many different decisions that we have to make and so many ways that we have to be creative. So asking yourself, is this impacting my creativity? Do I have a lot of financial fears around this? Do I have fears for the workload that I have? So really pausing and taking that time to ask yourself how it's affecting you before you consider what daily habits you want to have and before you start to think about what to incorporate as part of your wellness routine. So it's a journaling prompt, if you will, or something you can just reflect on later this evening or any day that you're watching this. Just pause and ask yourself, how have things changed? And then after asking yourself, how have things changed, the next question is really to understand what's within your control and what's not within your control. So you can ask yourself, is the way that I structure my day in my control? Are there certain business opportunities that are within my control? And then understanding what's not in your control. So for the things that aren't in your control, like how the pandemic resolves itself in the future, how long we're in this, quarantine or stay-at-home state, a lot of those things might not be in your control. So understanding, okay, those are not in my control and I can't do anything about those right now, and putting them off to the side, and then focusing your attention on what is within your control. So I've listed here a couple of things that are within your control and that you can incorporate as part of your daily wellness routines. The first thing being how you start off your day. In the wellness industry, it's so important, and we focus a lot on how you start your day because that really sets the tone for your day, for the rest of your day. So asking yourself a couple of questions of what would energize me in the morning? What kinds of habits will help me stay calm throughout the day? So really, really asking yourself what's going to help you position yourself to have the best day possible. For me personally, I love to do some yoga and some meditation, and since I still have coffee, I love to enjoy my coffee, just sit down, and open the windows, get some fresh air, and just enjoy my coffee. So that really sets me up both mentally, emotionally, and spiritually for my day. And for each person, it's going to look different. Meditation may not be what you choose to do. Instead, you might just want to have a few moments of mindfulness, which is really just tuning into your breath. So that can be focusing on your inhale and exhale while you're drinking your coffee. It can be taking a few moments to really observe the food that you're eating, and just be really intentional about it. So that's the first piece of advice, is really starting off your day right and asking yourself how you want to start off your day. The second thing is setting intentions and goals for your day. So one thing you can do as part of your morning routine is, after you do whatever enriches you and energizes you, whether it's a bit of physical movement, journaling, coffee, mindfulness, doing that, and then the next activity can be setting an intention for your day. With a lot of uncertainty happening in the world right now, from day to day, month to month, it might be hard for you to set an intention for your week or month, but just starting off with setting an intention for your day. So asking yourself, what do I need more of today? So starting off there, and then gradually, as things start to settle down, maybe there's more certainty that comes up in the situation at large, then you can start to ask yourself for the week, for the month. And then also asking, what can thrive in this environment? So oftentimes we think of things that are lacking as we're staying home, the things we can't do, the people we can't see, but asking yourself what can thrive. And if you have a digital service or a platform that's virtual, then maybe that's something that can thrive. Or maybe you have to pivot your business. So asking yourself what can thrive. One thing from the wellness perspective that can thrive is really your connection to yourself. So we have plenty of time nowadays to pause and journal, to reflect, to really look back at our accomplishments. So there's a lot of time that we have on our hands where we can just connect with ourselves and be with ourselves, and enjoy our company. So that's one thing that can thrive. Another thing that can thrive is your hydration levels. Sounds simple and maybe a little bit silly, but if you have access to water, now is a great time to get hydrated. And being hydrated keeps you energized. It keeps you having good flow and having good energy. So consider that as well as something that can thrive. Another thing as entrepreneurs is we may stay up late working on things, especially if you're passionate about what you're working on. But something that can thrive is your sleep schedule. Especially if you don't have other factors like kids or anything that's disrupting your sleep. Now is a wonderful time to see what it feels like to get 9 hours of sleep, or maybe 8, or maybe just 7.5 on a consistent basis. So that's something that I've been enjoying, is trying to get more sleep. Another thing is really practicing self-care. So we talked about, staying hydrated, making sure you're getting your sleep so that you can be in your best shape possible, mentally and physically and emotionally. But you can also just start to ask yourself what emotional needs you have. So this is a wonderful time. It's like a forced retreat to ask yourself, how am I feeling? And what is it that I'm looking for in my life? And that can be in your business or in your personal life. So just pausing and taking that time for self-care. Maybe you take a few baths now that you have more time. And then in terms of self-care, another aspect is that internal dialogue that we all have. Without a lot of things to do, we're not going somewhere and getting all these external inputs. It's a great time to start to notice that internal dialogue, which we usually call the inner critic. So is your internal dialogue nice? Are you kind to yourself? Or are you maybe mean to yourself and constantly questioning yourself? So you can start to notice that as well. And the beautiful way to do that is to journal about it. So just asking yourself, what have I been saying to myself today? What have I been saying to myself this month? Have I been limiting myself, or have I been encouraging myself? Am I my own cheerleader, or am I my own worst critic? So starting to have those conversations with yourself and starting to journal about that. Another thing that you can do on a daily basis is really start to focus on your boundaries. So these are boundaries both with technology, so you can use your phone, or you can, there's timers on your phone that you can use, or maybe it's boundaries with people that you're interacting with. So who energizes you and who doesn't energize you. So starting to get into that space of thinking, okay, what will I spend my energy on and what will I not spend my energy on? As entrepreneurs, I think it's incredibly easy for us to be sort of the one person shop and do everything for our businesses, especially if you're a solopreneur. So it can be hard to switch off from work mode to just relaxing or having fun. So starting to ask yourself, what boundaries do I need to set even with just myself for work? If you never have to leave your home and you work from home, it's really easy to let work bleed from the beginning of the day into the middle of the day into the end of the day and stay up late. So really, really asking yourself, what boundaries do I need to set for myself? So those are a couple topics there that I wanted to talk about. I want to see if there's any questions from the crowd. Yeah, so let me know if you have any questions in the comments section. I want to make this as much of a dialogue as possible, so please let me know if you have any questions. Okay, so it looks like we don't have any questions, so I'll just continue to talk about the daily habits that you can have. So, just to sort of summarize what we talked about, it's really all about setting yourself up for success and setting yourself up to enjoy your day. So, whether it's starting off your day right, setting an intention for the day, trying to figure out what kind of what self care looks like to you, and then practicing that self care, and then setting those boundaries so that you are in the best shape, you're feeling good, you're having, an enjoyable time as much as possible during this uncertainty. Yeah. So that's what I wanted to share today, and I hope you found it helpful. I hope you find it useful. I hope you take the time to pause and reflect on how you're being impacted by this crisis, and that you're able to think of ways to really enjoy your day. And if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out. We'd love to work together in the future. I've added my email there, my website, and my Instagram handle. All right. Thank you.